Hello and welcome to another Frenchic's Top Tip video. I'm Craig Phillips, their brand ambassador, and in this video I'm going to show you how to build your own garden shed, then prepping all the surfaces and showing you 3 different methods of painting using the alfresco range. The first method being a traditional paintbrush, the second being a small radiator roller, and the third one being a small electric handheld paint sprayer. Now, if you've purchased a flat pack one like I have, the first thing you need to do is pick a location. If you're going to be putting it in your garden and you're putting it onto soft grass, well, it's going to have to be laid onto either some slabs or some blocks and raised up off the floor so the damp weather doesn't penetrate through the base. You can probably notice my base here is a little bit higher because I've built a frame and put this on casters so I can move it around my driveway. I'm starting with the back. It's always wise to have somebody to hold it for you. I'm going to screw it into the base first, then lift up the side panel, holding it square and level at the corner, driving some screws in to hold the side panel into position. Then screw the bottom of the side panel into the base. You do the same with the opposite side panel, and then you're ready to place the front section in position. Double check that it's level, and then screw that into the 2 side sections and the base. When driving the screws in, it's always wise to drill a pilot hole first to stop the wood from splitting, and it's easier to drive your screws in. Now the 4 sides are fixed into position, we're going to place the roof panels on. Before I do this, I'm running a line of multi-use adhesive all the way along the front and back and centre edges. I'm going to place the panel into position and screw this down. The glue is going to add to the overall structural strength. So that's the main structure now complete. But before I hang my doors and fit the trims and the felt for the roof, I'm going to paint the body. But first it needs preparing. So I'm going to sand these surfaces down because they're quite rough sawn timber, they're quite porous, they will take a lot of treatment on there. So once I've given them a gentle sand down, I'm ready to start doing my first coat. Whenever you're sanding any materials, don't forget your PPE. I'm using a small, inexpensive electrical orbital sander, which makes large areas like this so much quicker and easier to prepare. Of course, if you don't have one of these, a sanding block and sandpaper will be fine. Start with a lower grade and build up to a higher grade to get a smoother surface. So that's your preparation complete on the surfaces. It's now ready to start painting. Now you have 3 different methods of application. One is your trusty paintbrush. Secondly, a radiator roller. And thirdly, a small handheld paint sprayer. You also have the choice of what colour paint you want to use from the Frenchic range. Now I'm using Swanky Pants. This is from the alfresco range. It's weatherproof, so it's suitable for indoors and outdoors. Perfect for these type of surfaces. I'm going to make a start with my paintbrush as I want to paint the edges of the frame where these meet the corners. It's wise to paint behind them as moisture and water can penetrate through and cause damage to the paintwork and structure. Just like her mum, Nellie likes to keep a close eye on Daddy's workmanship. Frenchic may have the official royal approval after winning a Queen's Award for Enterprise, but will it get Nellie's approval? Now for the second method, using a radiator roller and a small tray. Get plenty of paint on the roller and start to apply evenly. Frenchic Paint is environmentally friendly and has been certified EN 713, meaning it's safe to use on children's toys. And every now and again, Nellie likes to show her Daddy how it's done properly. Now my third and final method is using a handheld paint sprayer. Those of you who've used these before know that you have to dilute the paint down most of the time. And if you're experienced using Frenchic paint, you'll know for sure you have to dilute it down because it's really thick, great quality. So I'm going to add just about 10–15% water into the bottom there. And then I'm going to pour my Swanky Pants into the reservoir and take my stirrer and give that a good stir. That's the consistency I'm looking for, so it drips straight off the edge of the stirring stick. So screw the lid on nice and tight, click, connect, and then you're ready to start paint spraying. It's always wise to test your paint on a piece of cardboard first to see if you're happy with the spray pattern. Then you can start to paint from side to side, holding the nozzle around 50 to 100 millimeters away from the surface and continuing to move at a steady pace. When applying with a sprayer, your layers will be slightly thinner than using a paintbrush or a roller, so you may require further coats. If you apply the paint too thinly, durability may be affected, so we recommend to ensure the surface is sufficiently covered. Then you can go up and down with your second layer, which will complete your first coat. Repeat this on both the sides and the back. Leave this to dry for at least 2 hours in normal dry conditions, and then you can apply your second coat. Whilst the swanky pants is drying on the main shed, I'm going to paint my 2 doors using the brush, but this time with the City Slicker. It's a little bit of a darker grey than what that is, so I think it'll do a nice contrast with the doors that colour, and I might even do the trims as well along the edge here. All Frenchic paints are so thick and creamy, they're such a pleasure to apply, especially with a premium quality paintbrush like this. So that's 1 door complete, just 1 more to do, and then the trims. Although we'll only see 2 sides to the trim once they're fixed into position, I am painting all 4 sides of them for extra protection. I'll also leave these to dry for a couple of hours and then give them a second coat. Like with the first coat, you can apply it side to side and then up and down to create 2 thin layers acting as 1 solid coat. For the Frenchic paints to perform to their full potential, you need to ensure you apply them effectively. One key factor is the rate of coverage. For example, a 750ml tin of alfresco will provide a single coat of up to 12.5 square meters. Now the second coat's dry on the doors, you can fix your hinges into position, hold the door in between the opening and screw into place, checking that it swings smoothly and it's square and level. Take your multi-use adhesive and apply it to the back of the trim. Fix this into position and screw into place for extra strength. As for the roof, I'm gluing down my felt, as this will help strengthen and secure it into position, leaving a small hangover that will also be glued and then tacked into position before applying a further facing trim. The side edge of the felt, where the range rips off, is tucked under and also glued and held into place with a painted batten. I clamped these on until the adhesive was dry. So that's how you build your flat pack shed. Prepare all the surfaces and paint it so it lasts. If you're looking for more inspiration, don't forget to follow us on all social media handles, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and if you want to know more about the Frenchic paints, just check out their website, frenchicpaint.co.uk.